What is your why? This is a question that I remember hearing back when I was in my bodybuilding days. It was on another podcast, I think, and it often came up when talking to other people about why they were pursuing bodybuilding. And it was significant and it stuck in my mind because I never really understood why I was doing bodybuilding. Bodybuilding, for anyone who doesn't know, is a very time-intensive sport. It requires a lot of dedication, a lot of time, a lot of planning, and a lot of diligence. You have to weigh out your food, or you have to follow a specific program. You have to exercise 4 or 5 times a week at least. And you're often pushing yourself to limits that most people won't do. You're staying regimented. You are sticking with a program. You are really dedicating a lot of your life to this one goal of showing up on a stage and being judged for how well you fit a certain criteria. And so it takes a lot of resilience, it takes a lot of dedication, it takes a lot of strength to just get to that point that I think a lot of people don't see. And in order to really, truly stick to that, the ones that are most successful have a very strong why. And I remember when I was going through this, there's always this part of you that wants to succeed, right? You want to do well, you want to get the placing and the medal. And how cool would it be if you got a pro card and gained all this recognition? But that level, that requires a lot of dedication, a lot more than just sticking with your protocol for 90% of the time. That's like damn near 100% dedication in order to get there. And that really, really, truly requires you to know your why and to stick with it. And so when I was going through this process, I struggled a lot because, my why was, well, I don't know, this seemed really interesting and something that I wanted to do. I don't really know why. And it took me a while before I realized that there was a why behind it. I just didn't know it yet. And for me, that was getting comfortable with being in front of people, being judged on something that I was very sensitive about, which was my body. And really starting to ditch the idea that, other people's opinions of what I did mattered. And so I think to me, I didn't really have a strong why at the time because I didn't know why I was doing it. I just knew that I needed to do it and that was something that I wanted. And so I think looking back on it now, I was never going to reach that level. I was never going to get the first place or win the overall show or anything like that because my dedication to the sport was not quite where it needed to be because I didn't have a strong enough why. And so my question for you is what is your why? Why are you pursuing the things that you are currently? Is it because somebody else told you that you should have done it? Is it because of some gut instinct that told you to do it, but you don't really understand it yet? Or is it something that you deep down know is something that you want to do? Something that you know is going to make an impact and something that is meaningful to you. And so when you look at coaching, for example, I think coaching helps in a lot of ways because it helps get down to that why. It helps you understand and differentiate the different reasons why you might be doing something. It might be because you were conditioned to believe that that's what you needed to do. It might be that, on a whim or some intuitive hit that you needed to go do this and you don't really understand the reason why yet. And that's okay too. Or it could be that this thing really, truly, deeply aligns with your own internal values, your own internal compass, and you need to go do that. And everything that you do, everything that you focus on, maybe not everything, but a lot of what you focus on is towards this mission. And so what I would really encourage is maybe taking a step back. If it comes out to one of those 3 answers, that kind of gives you a better understanding of what it is you're doing, if it actually is helpful, or if maybe, you need to realign. And I'm not just saying that you need to quit your job because it's not aligned with your values. It could be aligned with your values for now. For some people, it may be taking care of your family is a really important thing, or something that you truly want to do. And that's why you have the job. And that's okay. For me, being a present parent is something that is deeply important to me because I believe that I can help create wonderful human beings that are going to help this world. And that's my why. And I also believe that I can do that through my coaching. And so that's why I do it. My why for the podcast is to help share the stories of the people who have gone through this death and rebirth cycle of shedding, who had already asked the whys, who would ask why they were doing whatever it was before, and decided that they were going to take action toward what actually lights them up and what actually is aligned for them. And so it takes a little bit of courage to take that step back and to really ask why. But I think there is a lot of value that comes out of that. And if you're doing something that requires a lot of effort and focus and dedication, you're not quite sure why. It was maybe something that just felt right. Trust that too. Because I think that there is a lot of value that we gain in our experiences. I think there's a lot of value that we get that further us along our paths. I like to say that, our intuition is like breadcrumbs. It guides us towards things that may seem unrelated or not meaningful maybe at the time, but there's something that you ultimately end up gaining from that. And I think that that is important too. And so when I look back at my experience with bodybuilding, I love it because of the people that I had met, the connections that I made, the world that I saw and was exposed to that I never would have been before. I really do feel like it served many purposes. But ultimately, what I gained out of that experience is value in myself, really. Knowing that I am able to do the work to do the things that people aren't willing to do in order to get some results. And even if it's not perfect at the end, it's okay too, because I learned something out of that and I have something else to take into that. It was funny because I had a mentor in my last job who was talking about being more confident speaking in front of other people and how, repetition can help, and practicing in front of a video and continuing to do that until you got more comfortable. And I was immediately brought back to my bodybuilding days where I would spend easily 20, 30 minutes a day in front of a mirror practicing my posing routine because I loved it and it was fun. And that was one of the parts of it I did enjoy is getting to see the shape that I was able to create from all my hard work. And just posing to music was fun for me too. But it really sparked this memory, and it reminded me that I did this thing that is just so crazy for me to have imagined years ago when I was so ashamed of my body and really just so anxious in front of other people. I couldn't even utter out a sentence without getting really shaky. And after that, I became a lot more comfortable being in front of people because, even though I wasn't saying anything on the stage, I was still literally being judged. And I think that put things into a new perspective for me because I realized that I may not be perfect the first time that I go out and speak in front of others or do whatever it is I want to do. But I know that with time and practice, then I'll get to a point where it feels like second nature. And I think that's part of what life is too, is having these experiences that guide you along the path, that get you closer to where it is you need to be, as long as you're willing to embrace them, as long as you're willing to get over the fear that comes along with it. Because we all have fears, and that's okay. I think that's part of the journey is getting over those fears and then really truly seeing what we are capable of. So I'm thankful for my time in the bodybuilding world. I don't know if I'm ever going to return. I did learn a lot, about the body and how to eat healthily and more balanced to optimize your health and body composition, which is really cool too. But I think my priorities in life are in a different place right now, and that's okay too. And so I'll always look back at that time very fondly and appreciate everything that I went through. But all that to say that, if you're doing something right now that you don't understand the reason why, you will in the future. And you will thank yourself for doing it as well. Because I don't think we're guided to do things that are for nothing. So that is all that I'll leave you here with today. A short, sweet, and something to consider as you move along your day and your path, whatever that may be. Just check in with yourself to ask yourself why, because that will help you understand, whether or not you are in alignment with whatever it is that you're doing. So, in summary, if it's somebody else told me to do it, or it would make somebody else proud, or you may want to step back and reevaluate that. But if it's I don't know, it just seemed interesting. It was an idea that I had, but I enjoy it. And keep going and see where it takes you. You'll know when you need to pivot. And then if it's this is what truly lights me up, then you'll know you're on the right path. So that's all I have for today. Thank you for joining me, and I would love it if you could like, share, subscribe. I know that it doesn't take too long for you to do, but it does help me out as far as the reach with the podcast. So thank you, everyone, and I hope you have a wonderful day.